ABC, the wax tier, and in this video, I'm going to ask you, what's a twofer? I know what a twofer is. Do you know what a twofer is? Well, a twofer is two albums sold together as one. And they were kind of big in the early 70s through the late 70s. As much as I've done my research, and I could be wrong if more twofers were sold outside of that time period, but the ones I've been collecting fall within that. So the first twofer I got was this Beach Boys twofer. And I know that in the early 70s, late 60s, that they put out a bunch of Beach Boys twofers. So this one is Carl and the Passions, So Tough, okay? And there are the Beach Boys in there. These are both incarnations of the Beach Boys. And with the Passions came Pet Sounds. And a friend told me a story that this version of Pet Sounds for this twofer was specially supervised by Carl. So here are the albums that how they came on the special Beach Boys labeled record. There you go there. And it sounds, the Pet Sounds sounds quite good. The only other version of Pet Sounds I have is a more modern pressing of it. Don't know, I assume it's digital. I'm not 100%. But, and this one's a little noisy, but I know through looking online in the Hoffman forums, lots of Beach Boys twofers. So, that being said, the only other twofers, this is the only kind of rock music twofer I have. Most I've been collecting are jazz twofers. And primarily what I found is through the Prestige label, they put out a lot of twofers. And I will show you generally when you see these, how they look. Something like this John Coltrane twofer here called Wheelin'. And typically these, again, are two separate albums combined in this affordable 2-for-1 package. Now, what I'm doing this video for is these twofers are great ways to get analog mastered versions of albums that are either hard to find or the original versions are just astronomically expensive on Discogs. So the Wheelin' here is a combination of two albums, Wheelin' and Dealin' from '57, and then another one that I think was just a '65 reissue. They're typically these Prestige early '70s twofers have this green label, the Prestige green label, and they sound great. I think I paid $10 for this. You could get these things from anywhere from $5 to $30 and decent condition. On the higher end, you're getting, I have several of these I bought sealed. And I've done those opening videos where I open a 40 or 50-year-old album. And I've done that with some of them. To show you, here's a good example, because I do have both versions. So here's a Bill Evans twofer, the second trio. You know, after his bass player died in a car crash, Scott LaFaro, this is the second incarnation of the trio he put together. So this one, the second trio, which is on the Millstone label, is these two albums. It is How My Heart Sings, Bill Evans Trio. And this is an OJC 2014-15. And the rumor about a bunch of these that they come from late 80s mastering, they're pressed from the metal parts. Now, I can't verify if all of that is true. I found lists, and I used those to accumulate a lot of these. And by the way, the second album is Moonbeams. Now, these both sound excellent, but this sounds better. This early 70s mastering sounds better, and I know it's analog, so I paid, this was sealed. I got this sealed, and it was 35 bucks. So a bargain, because these were, I bought for probably under 20 on Amazon. Sound great. Again, this sounds better. So that's an example. Here's another example. I only have one of this. So this Bill Evans twofer, that is Spring Leaves, again on Milestone, is a version of Portrait in Jazz. Now, all indications is this comes from the late 80s plates that Scott Delancey, I think his name is, worked for Fantasy, did the mastering for that. But this sounds better. Again, I bought this seal for 35 bucks. And awesome. So one album that I was looking for, the OJC version, which in the times we're in, is sold out. They have not repressed it yet. You could typically, used to be able to get that even as early as earlier this year for $20, $25. This Conception is New Jazz. One of the titles is New Jazz Conceptions, and I got this. It was this is mint minus condition. I bought it. It was open, for 34 bucks. Again, my record store. Someone must have brought all these in to my local record store. Sounds amazing. Now I don't have the Analog Productions 45, or if I know they did a 33 of New Jazz Conceptions to compare to, but this sounds amazing. And again, this sounds great. If you find this, get it. This sounds better. And I'll just rifle through a lot. I did a opening of a sealed version of this Eric Dolphy twofer, Firewalls. Weirdly enough, it is not two Eric Dolphy albums. It is two albums he's a sideman on. A Mal Waldron album, The Quest, which if you find an OG of it, highly expensive. This Magic twofer is the Ron Carter Wear. Is on this one, obviously, because it says Ron Carter's name right here. There you go on that green label. So I'll rifle through another. Here's another one where I have this Eric Dolphy out there. Again, sounds great. It is part of this, which I see this one a lot all over the place. This, and weirdly, this is on a yellow, not green, Prestige label. But good, better. So now, Prestige is not the only one. There's other jazz twofers that I've picked up, and there's the right before ABC bought Impulse, before MCA bought them, that same year, they put out a bunch of these Declaration series, and these are twofers, two albums here, the Sonny Chris and Kenny Dorham. Which again, if you find the OGs of this, like I think the Sonny Chris is like up to around 300, depending on condition. This I got in mint condition off of Discogs for $10, and it has this cool green ABC Impulse. But they put the series out literally right before they got purchased, so I think the series went away. I found another kind of VG Plus version of it with Gil Evans and Gary McFarlane. This Gil Evans actually is the was put out this year out of the Cool, the Analog Productions version came out this year, which I have that. But this was $5 at a used record store I went to. So crazy. And then Blue Note has Twofers from the late 70s. So here's a great Gil Evans Twofer. And in fact, one of the earlier Tone Poets is one of this. It's from his from these Pacific West records, World Pacific jazz records that Gil Evans did, 2 of them. One of these is the Tone Poet, an early Tone Poet. Another, this is a great album. This is The Procrastinator, Lee Morgan. These were 2 unreleased albums that were put out in this twofer in the late 70s, and these are on those Blue Label Blue Note, Liberty Blue Note. So highly recommend getting these. This one's on the more expensive end. It's Lee Morgan, but this Gil Evans, $8 in mint condition. Sounds beautiful. I don't have the Tone Poet to compare it to. Other ones, here's an Impulse. This was not part of that other series. This is just an earlier twofer of Yusef Lateef. Great. Again, here's a Prestige Yusef Lateef here on that green label. I just picked up this Red Garland twofer that is Jazz Junction is one of them. There's an OJC you can get of that, but $11 I picked this up for off of Discogs. Here's another Yusef Lateef, a twofer on Savoy, which is owned by the same company that came out around the same time. Here's a Mose Allison twofer that is incredible. Some early Mose, forgive me for not knowing the exact name of the 2 albums this is. Something Country, Old Country. I'll pull this out right now, where this is, by the way, there's the inside where they list that this is Backcountry Suite and Local Color are the 2 Mose Allison albums. And a lot of instrumental of Mose Allison playing the piano sounds awesome. Now, if you want to get some good, the Prestige Miles, this tall, now I don't know how they name these, like, are these songs, The Tallest Trees. The first album is Bag's Groove. It's an awesome album. Here's an analog mastered version of it. Again, this was sealed, actually. I did I'll have an opening video of this, and paid $30 for this. So definitely a bargain to get these analog mastered versions of these titles. Let's see if I didn't show one here. Oh, here's a great one. A Gene Emmons twofer. Highly recommend. I found this used for $8. So the whole point of this is run out and do yourself a favor, very affordably, to get great sounding versions of albums that are either too expensive to get if you're on a budget, or they're hard to find in decent shape. These are undervalued. And probably after this video, they might not be undervalued. So do yourself a favor and run out, or when you come across them, pick them up. It's definitely worth it. They sound amazing. If you have any of the twofers, the some I didn't show you, please leave a comment. Tell me about them. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. Always try and subscribe to my channel and you get more videos like this. And hit the notification if you want to know when I post a new video. And until next time, the Waxed Out.